Hello, hello, my friends. It is Aldo, and welcome back to the Knights of the Nerd Republic. You know what to do, and stay profitable.
The Nerd Academy podcast is released weekly at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, available on our website at www.thenerdacademypodcast.com and wherever you listen to podcasts. You can find the Nerd Academy podcast on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. You can also help support the show by going to patreon.com/The Nerd Academy podcast, where every donation allows us to bring you more exciting content every week.
Hello there, and welcome back to Knights of the Nerd Republic, the show where your favorite nerds talk all things about the galaxy far, far away. We are here with our review of the season finale of Obi-Wan Kenobi season series. Who's to say? I think there's room for a season 2 if they play their cards right. We'll see. This episode was incredible, and I think we have a great lineup to talk about it. And I am very excited to dive into everything. Quick programming note before we jump all the way in. Versus series for June should be out soon. I was under the weather, and Spencer was super busy this past week, so that wasn't super doable, but we should have that recorded hopefully next week, maybe the week after. So that said, real quick before we jump in, you guys know the drill. SundaysBloodyMary.com is the most badass Bloody Mary accoutrement in the galaxy. They have the award-winning Spicy Caesar Mix, which is my go-to, the mild mix, and they have a new addition in the traditional Bloody Mary mix. No animal product, and it's not super spicy. So yeah, all manner of pickled garnishes and merch from them. So go to SundaysBloodyMary.com/shop. Use code TNAP at checkout, and you'll get okay, Michael freaked me out because you joined twice. Get 10% off your order. All of that said, let's jump into the episode. We have the one-eyed knight, the lore keeper, Connor Chikiti.
Hello there, everyone. I am so excited to talk this episode with one of the biggest Vader fans that I know in this fandom, and I gotta tell you, it must have been a field day for you.
I had a lot of emotions Wednesday morning, Tuesday night. Listen, spoilers. Y'all know the drill around here. As a Vader stan and a Qui-Gon stan, and someone who has Obi-Wan in their top 5, this was a lot. We also have Black Leader and the Consular, Travis Grossman and Alexis Capel.
Did anyone else's connection die or just ours? Oh yeah.
You were super robot.
I was super robot.
Yeah.
Like it actually booted us out of the thing.
I saw you guys get booted. I didn't lose Connor, and our guest from All Remaining Systems, Michael McCoy, somehow ended up in here twice.
Somehow Michael cloned himself.
And it looks like Michael might be frozen.
Yeah.
I'm back.
Oh.
Okay,
Maybe.
It's very choppy on my end.
Mine too.
Yeah.
That's weird, because normally if it's on my end, I get the little, oh shit's catching on fire Wi-Fi thing flashing, and I'm not having that at the moment. So that is very peculiar. This is weird, because it happened with Jerry last week, where like his connection slowly just mellowed out throughout the episode. Which apparently Lexi's Apple Podcast app decided she was going to listen to, whether she wanted to or not.
Yes.
Which was
I
way less
haven't seen that episode yet.
Which is way less entertaining the way it happened than how I was imagining it, because the way you explained it. Oh, there goes Michael. Apparently, like it kept picking up where it left off, and you kept trying to shut us up. Because you I'm assuming you slept into it and then pulled it up while we were talking about Obi-Wan.
I was listening to Markiplier's Distractable podcast before I go to sleep. That's what I've been doing recently. And I woke up in the morning and TNAP was playing, or Knights was playing, and
Yeah.
I turned it off, and this was while I was going to my work trainings, and I connected the Bluetooth in the car, and then I heard your voice start playing, and I was like, God, shut up, Jared, because I didn't see that. You guys were talking about episode 5, and at that point I didn't see episode 5 yet. I was like, don't you dare. Don't you dare. And so then I went to the training and I came back out and I connected to the car again. And then Connor's voice starts talking. And I was like, Connor, I swear to God, if you guys ruin this for me. And I like turned it off real quick. And my mom was
It's
like,
so
what's
funny,
wrong? And I
'cause
was like,
It's funny
Gonna
because
get
I'm a
spoiled.
fucking narc about spoilers in our group chat. I'm always like, no one say a word until we know. And then because the way you kept saying like the podcast kept coming on, I thought you basically got to live your own Clone Wars arc where you were like yelling at Hondo to shut the hell up. Because I kept thinking
it was
like it just
y'all talking
kept
about the
picking up
shut
with
like the
Hondo.
episode, and because in the morning it was the intro, and then after my trainings and whatever, it started into you guys talking about stuff. Like I didn't hear anything, but it like you guys were about to start talking about things, and I was like, no, turn it off. And I don't know why, because usually when I connect to the Bluetooth in my car, like music starts playing. But since I was listening to a podcast and the podcast kept playing, and my mom was like, "What's wrong?" and I was like, "I hate these people," but not really. But you know,
even though I would have no control over it, there would have been a part of me that would have felt so bad for being the person who, from a certain point of view, spoiled the episode for you.
it's okay. It didn't happen. I caught it in time. Everybody's still safe. I didn't kill anyone.
That's very good. That would have been so funny. Michael is back.
Okay, so I think I know what went wrong.
What went wrong?
So I was trying to fiddle with my Wi-Fi settings because I got booted for a second, and then I joined back, and I was like, "Oh, I thought something must have happened with my Wi-Fi." But then, as soon as I heard them say, "Oh yeah, we got booted too," I was like, "Oh wait, no," because I just switched Wi-Fi networks, and so that just screwed everything up, I think.
That'll do it. When we're done with this one, I'm gonna rip everything apart and plug it all back in. But yeah, very great episode. Were you dabbing? I couldn't tell. I looked away very briefly. Just a little bit. Thank you, Michael. Yeah, this episode was remarkable. I had nothing but faith in this finale. I've had nothing but faith in this show, and you know, I knew it was going to stick the landing, but like it stuck the landing and did it with like a little bit like pizzazz at the end too. Like there's a little bit of like jazz hands, and this show just has everything, and I think it's something that I think we're going to come back to a lot whenever we do.
Your mic cut out, Jared.
It's
Yeah,
It's just one thing after another tonight.
Yep.
We are.
can't have a show without technical difficulties.
Never.
We really can't. It's
It
unfortunate.
just be like that sometimes.
It really
We haven't
is.
had issues like this in so long.
Wait, we can hear you now.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, you're back.
Okay, let's see how long he'll stay.
I can. Am I audible?
Yeah.
No, yeah,
Yes,
you're good.
you're good.
Okay,
Yeah,
I
you're
can't hear
good.
myself.
You're good.
That's weird. No, but everything with this show, like it has like the nostalgia bait, but it does it in a way that actually services the story. It's not just, as Travis and I have been putting it on TNAP, like a member berry circle jerk. You know, like it actually makes these decisions for the flashbacks, for all of those things, to be valuable to the story. You look at Twitter and people are like, I want my Clone Wars flashbacks. I want my Clone Wars flashbacks. And it's like, do you just want to see Obi-Wan and Anakin in the costumes? Or like, do you have like a story reason why that's valuable? And this show goes, oh, here's a flashback. Here's them when they were younger. And it means something for the story. Same thing here. We want Qui-Gon. We want Qui-Gon. Qui-Gon's this perfect bow to put on the end of the story. I just loved it. Travis, Lexi, you guys start talking the episode while I figure out why I can't hear myself.
Oh, me? Okay. Kenobi is fantastic. I knew it was going to be good. I don't know if I realized it was going to be like great. Not that I had low hopes. I had high hopes, and it met the expectations. This finale made me cry, and I watched it twice now, and I cried twice. It was everything I wanted and needed. And I don't know a whole lot about like old canon stuff or, you know, whatever lore things. I've seen all the movies, obviously, but a lot of people have like a deep connection because of the books or whatever. But to me, this is everything I wanted. So it was great. Go ahead.
Man, Star Wars is cool. I should watch it sometime. Like,
He has. For the people that don't know his sarcasm, he's seen the Star Wars.
never heard of them. No,
It's funny because that's how Oscar Isaac is treating the franchise these days too.
yeah. What is a Star Wars? I have passively been enjoying everything they've put out since episode 9, you know, like the theatrical stuff finished. I've liked everything a lot. But I haven't been like, yeah, Star Wars in a long time. I don't think that's anything at the fault of Mando or Book of Boba Fett or anything else that's come out. I think for me personally, all the discourse around Star Wars turns me off of it a little bit. And so when I can't engage in that aspect, like I just don't care to engage at all. Man, Obi-Wan's too good for me to not, though. Like it's perfect. Everything about there's like one minor thing that was like that didn't look great in episode 1, and besides that, top to bottom, perfect Star Wars story. It's perfect.
I'm easily like amused or easily impressed
I am too.
by anything Star Wars. So I never usually have problems with anything. I don't think I've had a single problem except that one person with it was in an early episode. She was like yellow. She was hanging around the brothers and the sisters or whatever, and she had a line and it didn't match up.
The fourth sister?
Perhaps. I don't know. She gave an order and it just, the lips didn't match up with what she said. I don't know if anybody else noticed that.
Oh God, now I want to go back and look for it. That's really funny.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
our friend Levi. So yesterday I watched the 6th episode. Did I just turn this off by accident?
No, you turned the volume one direction. I'm not sure. Oh. They're on. You're good.
Okay. Sorry.
There, you're good.
Anyway, it said a thing in my ear. I watched the 6th episode with our friends Levi and Mike without him, and our friend Levi had a lot of gripes. A lot of gripes of things that I didn't realize.
Of course she did.
And he said, Levi said it was okay.
Which means it's like actually perfect, because if Levi thinks something is okay,
I don't know. He was like really dogging on it a little bit.
yeah, but if he didn't come out of it going like that was trash and I didn't like it,
Yeah.
because that means it's okay. That means it's like
He's
passable
very
to good.
black or white. So the littlest, like, it's okay, most likely is like he liked it, you know. I'm talking too much, but Mike really enjoyed it. He kept saying, "Where's Qui-Gon though? Where's Qui-Gon?" That type of stuff. And then he freaked out at the end, and
They agree.
There he
really
is.
Good.
yeah. And Levi was like, "Why? What episode was it where the doors open for Tala when she's going into the the thing when she lies about being there
It was
for
episode 4.
Yeah.
Yeah. And because we watched episode 4 until 6. And Levi's like, well, why did the doors open suddenly for her? And also, Leia's outfits look like a cosplay. And I'm like, but she's a little kid. Like, you know.
So
it's not gonna
Levi,
be-
so Levi was doing Levi critique.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, shaky camera. And also.
All right, the shaky cam I
like-
actually kind of agree with.
Yeah, okay. So it was just like little nitpicking things. I'll think of more. There were plenty more.
I believe you.
Same, I do
It
too.
was just very nitpicky. And
I don't
like,
know. I
why
haven't
didn't
known Levi as long, but like, yeah, I believe it.
I'm gonna sound like a huge not fan. Star Destroyer? The big old ship Vader's in?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Star
Yeah.
Destroyer? See, I'm
Yep.
not that
Yep.
see, I'm not that bad. I
You
said
second
Star
guess
Destroyer.
yourself.
But he's like, why did it just now start pew-pewing at people? Why couldn't it do it before when, like, earlier in the episode they should have
I
used
feel bad
it?
that he can't just enjoy things sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Have fun with it. It's
So-
it's that one TikTok I saw a while ago where it's this guy is like, it's a diesel punk space western samurai movie about like the Force where a Muppet teaches a man to kill his cyborg father. Calm down.
Levi's just super cynical. It's I kept turning around and being like, "Can you shut up? Let me enjoy this." Like, I got to watch it a second time today with him so he could see it. And then I picked up on so many things that I missed because I was yelling at Levi for
Oh god, he was doing that like that was your first viewing. Oh, I couldn't.
Yes.
Oh,
The
wow.
entire,
couldn't.
the,
I
the
couldn't.
entire
Jared would
between
kill him.
Obi-Wan and Leia. Obi-Wan and Leia's interaction before Obi-Wan leaves. You know, all like the little lines they have back and forth. She's like, I didn't hear him say that last time.
Yeah, like it was just. And then Mike was screaming the whole time because he was so excited. And then Levi kept trying to be like, Mike, shush, my mom's in the other room trying to sleep. And then I'm like, what is happening? So, you know, it's fine.
It's just such a web of emotions where you have Levi like, why are his shoes brown? And then Mike just like, oh, Darth Vader walks on screen, much like I did by myself, going, ah, just because Vader's there. I believe it. I believe every second.
I
of
wish
it.
you could have been there to see them. It was.
I do too.
Fantastic.
I do too. I'm finally like not feeling like shit, and like I know it's not COVID, but I just didn't want to breathe on people in general. I didn't want to spread my cold unnecessarily, and I was also I rewatched it last night with my dad and my sister as well, which was a lot of fun. Just they both like did a slow turn the second Qui-Gon showed up. Like, he's crying, isn't he? Yeah, there it is.
And then Mike called Bale a soy boy for some reason. I don't know what that was about. Mike said that. I have no idea. And then he was like, I guess he doesn't like Uncle Owen, but not like because of this guy in the show. Like, he doesn't like Uncle Owen anyway.
He doesn't like. He hates Owen as a character for no reason.
Yeah,
It's the
and so
best.
when Owen kind of started like being cool, sort of, when he's fighting inside the house with Reva, he's like, "Oh, I want to hate him, but like when he said, he is my boy" or something like
Yeah.
that. I forget what he said.
Yeah,
then Mike
that was a
was
great
like-
line. Yeah, like you protect him like he's your own. He is my own.
Yeah, that. And then Mike's like,
Yep.
I love that. He didn't want to love it, but he loved it.
That's really fun.
Sorry,
That's really
I talked
funny.
a lot.
No,
but-
you're good. That's the point of what we're doing here. Michael, I'm going to kick to you.
Okay.
Overall
this
thoughts
is-
before we get into nitty gritty.
This is the best episode of any live action show we've ever gotten for Star Wars. Just hands down.
Agreed.
Easy. It has trumped episode 3 of Kenobi for me in that regard. Actually, episode 5 may have trumped episode 3. Whatever. Point is, the show's been freaking incredible. I was a little hesitant about some of the concepts of the show when first announced. I wasn't sure about an Obi Vader rematch. I was one of those people who was a little skeptical, not as cynically skeptical of some others, but I was like, why would Obi-Wan leave Tatooine? Everything about this show was so perfectly done, and I have faith in the Star Wars creative team to do just about anything at this point.
Yeah, no, I agree with you completely. That was one of the things I was most excited about at the outset was how do you square why he would leave Tatooine?
Mm-hmm.
And that was my biggest thing where I was like, this has to be huge for him to, abandon his post, as it were. So yeah, Connor.
Phenomenal. I think that's really all I gotta say, man. Like, this is definitely, if I marinate over it more, I might agree with Michael, but like, it's definitely one of the best episodes of live action Star Wars TV we've ever gotten. And it's just a phenomenal finale to Kenobi, and it's a phenomenal end cap to what I've been calling episode 3.5.
That's good.
You're right.
Yeah.
That's absolutely what it
That's
is. And I piggybacking on what Michael said, and mostly because I can't wait any longer. We're talking about the fight. The thing that I like, they were like, rematch of the century. I'm like, cool. There's absolutely room in the canon for this. When I left you, I was but the learner. Now I am the master.
And
no
here's
point
the
does he
thing.
say,
Vader never directly says at all, as far as I know, in any canon material, I think Obi-Wan's dead. He never says it.
Well,
It's
you're right.
always
You're right. And
other characters.
I will eat crow on the whole he's gonna fake his death thing. I really thought that's how this
I'm not
was
even
gonna
just
end.
calling that.
And
that
I like
out. Jared, I just didn't realize it myself either until like an hour ago.
well, and that is what it is. But like with the amount of people who are like, oh, it's gonna break canon. When I left you, I was with the learner. Blah blah blah. Oh, that has to mean Mustafar. I love how episode 5 makes it clear that the I am but the learner is all in his head.
Totally.
And something that I've loved about the current canon of Star Wars is that Darth Vader being this nigh unkillable powerhouse and Vader having this mastery over his emotions in the dark side has been the default for him for a while. And I really, really love how Vader has been depicted in the canon. There are very few people who have eaten as well as Vader fans in the new era of canon. Between the comics and Rogue One and Rebels, all of that stuff, you've gotten great stuff for Vader. But the idea of really, really challenging that but Anakin's still in there, because the second you put Obi-Wan on the board, he starts acting like an impetuous, impulsive lunatic. And I love that. I think it is a great parallel between him and Kylo. Star Wars is like poetry, it rhymes. That's the point. And there is so much to seeing Vader snap. Like in that, like, we gotta get him, we gotta get him, we gotta get him. It's like the meme that's been made out of the Grand Inquisitor now, where he just kind of does like, okay. Whenever Vader goes, no, we're going after Kenobi. You would never see Vader
him do that.
It's so funny.
The Grand Inquisitor has just been a meme machine this entire show. It's just he has like 4 episodes, and every time he shows up, he has an incredible line or moment that has instantly been just memed by the fandom. Love it.
I said last week, just as a person, the Grand Inquisitor would fit right in on like fucking Drag Race. That he just has that personality. Hello, Grand Inquisitor. The fucking all of that. That's his personality. He's just a pithy little
I can
shit.
stand the reek of your ambition no longer.
I need content of the Grand Inquisitor hanging out with Tarkin. Like, those are the only 2 people who are like pissy old queens who can handle each other.
They got along really well in Rebels for that reason.
Yep.
Yeah. But I mean, I want more of them. But seeing
I want
Vader
them.
just
I want them talking over coffee, talking about Vader, just like
This
what-
kid.
this guy.
This guy.
Yep.
Can you believe it?
Well, to bring up Levi again, I said whenever the episode came out, like this is the sitcom Levi and I are talking about all the time, like stuff like Grand Inquisitor just going at Vader. Like, this is it. That's the
Just
material
the
we
little
need.
thing he does with his lips is so funny.
I need more live action Grand Inquisitor, and I need Rupert Friend to just stay around. I've always loved the Grand Inquisitor, but now he's funny on top of being a cool character. But seeing Vader be able to turn like that is really fascinating because it goes against every other appearance we ever see of him, where it is just cold-blooded killing machine. And
As we saw in episode 3.
as we see in 3, as we see in the comics, as we see in like Fallen Order, like every time we see him, it is just business, and there is going back to episode 3, the difference between Vader in the hallway in Rogue One and Vader on Mapuzo is Vader doesn't give a damn about these rebels. He has a job to do. And I think there is something to be said for the fact that I think he was really upset that he beat Obi-Wan as easily as he did in episode 3. I think he was sincerely upset about that. And I think that's part of why we get that flashback in episode 5. So he's just racing into this fight to throw down with Obi-Wan to prove himself. Your desire for victory and to prove yourself will be your undoing, Anakin. And the way he just shows up ready to throw down, and Obi-Wan in turn with the psychological warfare. Aside from it's like poetry, it rhymes. I will do what I must. What the subtext of that is, this time I'm gonna fuck you up again. This is part 2. This time I actually kill you.
But there's also a little opening for just depending on how the fight goes. Just a wee, to me at least, I read it as just a wee bit opening for maybe I could fix him and not fuck him up.
Oh my gosh. I kept making Mike and Levi laugh because I kept saying that the whole time. I kept going, but I can fix him. I can do it. I can fix him. Me, I can fix him. And they were dying.
It's a hug and some lotion. It's fine.
You seriously
love him. I can be Padme part 2.
No, you don't want to do that. I can give you a couple
It
comments.
didn't end
That's
well for
horrible
Padme
idea.
part 1.
Yeah,
Yeah, didn't really work out.
No.
Mustafar
It'll be
Boogaloo.
different.
But it'll be different. But I think that goes so far into who Obi-Wan is as a person and how well he knows Anakin. Is that he didn't, and it was one of those things we're all speculating that he'll try to talk Vader off the ledge right before the lightsabers come out, right? And all of us who had that expectation were ignoring a huge glaring weakness in that theory, which is Obi-Wan knows Vader wants to fight. And there's not going to be any dealing with him unless we indulge the bloodlust. And the fact that Obi-Wan does not try to talk to him until he has adequately fucked him up.
Yeah.
And viciously.
Oh God, yeah.
Almost cut his head off.
He
This is some
almost
of the
cut
most
his head off.
Brutal shit we've ever seen in Star Wars.
I don't know if in Revenge of the Sith, when he's all flash fried, if he has the giant gash in his head that we see when he's unmasked in episode 6. But let me tell you, I really love the headcanon I'm seeing float around that the giant gash when he has his helmet taken off in Return of the Jedi is from Obi-Wan, just fucking Falcon punching him in the head with a lightsaber. Just off the top rope, damn near beheading him.
So I can say this now because the episode's out. You remember how I was predicting that would happen?
Oh yeah, I was saying that too. That's how you get Hayden's big moment.
Yeah,
I was gonna say,
I knew
why
that.
wasn't
I
Drew
knew that
Hayden back if
because
you didn't do a scene like this.
I knew that because I read the leak.
See, I saw a leak against my will that I'm so glad ended up being wrong.
Was it Qui-Gon showing up in the fight? Because I thought,
no, it was about what would happen with Reva, actually.
oh yeah, where she would die.
Which again, read it against my will. Sidebar, real quick. I didn't want it. It showed up, and I saw it, and then I saw the source and got angry that I read it.
I know exactly which one.
And I like. We're gonna name names real quick. Jason Ward does not belong in this community. He's a fucking predator and a sack of shit. And his leaks are bad. He got this whole show wrong. So you can't even use him being a good source as an excuse to keep up with his content. Fuck Jason Ward.
Yeah, he literally got like 3 things wrong from the final episode.
Any hoozles.
Hey, that's
So
my thing.
I know. I was honoring you. Here's it's an homage.
Thank you. Thanks.
It's like, oh, hello. It's a homepage.
Homepage.
Piece of my shorts.
I love that Obi-Wan waits until he kicked his ass to talk to him. There's something, it's one of those, like, when you say something in Star Wars and you strip it down to its bare bones, it's really funny. And it was truly just like 2 bros get into a fist fight and then talk it out kind of thing.
That's what brothers do.
Exactly.
I mean, I've talked about it a lot online, but like the fact that he uses the end of his hilt to just smash it repeatedly into Vader's respirator is both creative as hell and fucking brutal.
Can I want to read for you all the conversation I had with Spencer today because he couldn't make it. We were just talking about the fight, things he wasn't super into, the reasons I loved it. He said, I also think that Obi-Wan used the pommel to get Vader's control panel was what threw him off. I would doubt if Vader has ever considered an enemy at close quarters to be a threat when their saber isn't actually pointed at him.
Exactly.
And my response was, Obi-Wan Kenobi, being the mad lad he is, went, this is just dumb enough to work. Because as we've said on the Versus series 1,000 times, the last place you want to be when you're fighting Darth Vader is like this close to him. Because at that point, you're
on the same level as him prying Grievous's chest apart.
Exactly.
Oh,
Exactly. Like I'll do you one better. It's like if the whole stunt with trying to kick Grievous in the leg worked.
Yeah. Yeah,
like the chest panel, there's some amount of like, surely there's something in here. Oh my god, your heart. You know, like this was the same level of like, oh, okay, I'm just gonna keep smashing.
Those legs on your chest gotta do something.
Exactly. Like,
push all the buttons.
This looks
Is there a
important.
self-destruct here?
But and again, it's that. But it's non-lethal too, because everyone was like, "Well, if I stab him, I'll fucking kill him," and I can't do it. And it's like what I put on Twitter a couple days ago. Obi-Wan Kenobi finished the job challenge, difficulty impossible. But I get why he didn't do it, and obviously canon reasons. But the thing that I love is that we were all talking about, like I said, I was with the learner, now I am the master. What does that mean? And
this reinforces that
episode 5 has like the whole, this is what he's talking about. This is a head thing for him.
Yep.
Here, I love we see the culmination of your aggression and need to win and undoing everything. What I really love is the way that the story really leans into Darth Vader betrayed and murdered your father.
Yes.
And I saw on Twitter somebody, and they write for one of the trades, who was talking about how, like, I can't stand how Star Wars fans need there to be like a line and an explanation for everything. And this isn't like a demand for an explanation. Everybody knew what that meant in the original trilogy. It's Obi-Wan speaking incredibly metaphorically, and how like to give yourself over to the dark side is a destruction of self.
Yeah.
The way, like my name says, y'all owe Hayden an apology. That line delivery with that that vile little grin on his face. Because he knows the fight's over. He knows he's not going to be able to pick himself. That damn smile.
The damn smile.
I say that's another one of Lexi's favorite memes.
Smile, that goddamn smile. Hayden Christensen.
That was
And
so
Ewan McGregor.
That I guess I know because Alden made the joke on Twitter with like, you know, Anakin, I'm sorry for everything. Like that's going to be in Ewan McGregor's like, you know, Emmy for best leading actor in a limited series.
It has to be.
Hayden's best supporting actor for your consideration is the I am not your failure, Obi-Wan. You didn't kill Anakin Skywalker. I did.
Oh, I got chills again.
And it's because
I've
like,
rewatched that scene about 20 times. Like
Same.
dead ass. Just like
I can't
I
get
have it
over
on
it.
in a tab. Like I've just been like
There's so much nuance and subtext to that conversation.
And it's very open to interpret too.
Yes.
Okay, I want to get into that in a second then because because I'm just hung up on the performance here. But like again, the way Hayden plays it, huge kudos to the sound design team that they did the same thing they did in Rebels, where they like mixed James Earl Jones and Matt Lanter's voice to get that really cool hybrid of.
I think in terms of that,
Anakin Skywalker, like it's I mean being Hayden's actual voice, but like it melded so well together. And my favorite, there's like a little, it's the way he struggles to even say Skywalker. Like that's been my like it's such a small moment, but he's like, you did not kill Anakin Skywalker. Like he's struggling to fucking breathe.
He says it like Yoda when
he's
dying.
wheezing.
Yeah, like he's like, this might be the last thing I even get to say, but if I can't kill you, I want you to know I fucking hate you, and I want you to know you allowed this to happen. I am what you made me. It's perfect. Like these are one of those instances where and I'm not saying like, oh, you know, I like me as a person could write a better Vader story or anything, but like if I were put in the driver's seat of a story involving Vader and Obi-Wan before A New Hope, this is exactly the direction I'd take it in. I was watching, I was like, this was made for me. I'm like, and I'm screaming and crying and cheering and whooping, you know, it was flawless. It was flawless. The choreography, the way that like, and this is another thing that came up with Spencer, is that when I was talking to him, we see so many instances throughout Star Wars where someone is able to tap into their aggression and tap into their anger and their hatred and use that as an amp to win the day. And as corny and silly as it is, Star Wars is incredibly corny and silly. So the fact that we have Obi-Wan Kenobi do some like the most powerful magic in the universe is love bullshit to whoop Darth Vader's ass because he's more concerned with protecting Vader's kids than saving Anakin's ego. It's perfect. Like it and that was Spencer's big complaint. He's like, that is the most wild shit we have ever seen from Obi-Wan, Legends or canon. And it was kind of jarring. And I was like, that's how Anakin beat Dooku, and that's how Luke beat Vader. Is they tapped into their aggressive feelings. For Obi-Wan, it's that compassion and it's that like need to defend where like he almost fell into this like Force avatar state where he was like able to access the zenith of his potential in the Force. And I was slack-jawed watching that. Like, I love, like, talking about the fights and talking about, like, the mechanics of the fights. And I'm like, this is Obi-Wan's best performance ever. To hell with Grievous, to hell with Mustafar, all the fights with Maul, this is Obi-Wan at his pinnacle. And There's another thing that gets lended an extra like little hints of cool subtext now when you go back to the duel between Obi-Wan and Vader in A New Hope. You should not have come back. Like, that is Vader recognizing you can't pull whatever bullshit trick you pulled on me before. I'm ready for it, and I can tell you don't have it in you anymore, old man. And it goes back to my old headcanon for A New Hope as to why the fight looks a little janky and weird is because Vader is fighting the only person who has ever come this close to killing him for the third time now. And then it's like, well, he almost killed me on Mustafar, and he almost killed me on whatever the hell planet this happened on. And he's coming out swinging, so clearly he's not that afraid of me. Oh, shit, I might die again. And that's why the fight's a little, But anyway, I've been waxing poetic, but this was my time to shine because Vader makes me feel so many emotions. Michael, you were talking
apology. Sorry, I just want to say that gutted
Bro.
me. And at the same time, I'm like, you did this to him. But also, it hurt me, and I feel so bad on all sides. And I'm sure Anakin was like, now you say it.
Well, it goes back, and this was something I've brought up a few times, and I think this is a great place to bring it up again, is that the dynamic, well, I think a lot of what Vader is feeling has that, like, where you have a little shithead sibling who's just doing everything in their power to, like, egg on and annoy older sibling, and like you're kicking them, flicking them, hitting them, doing everything you can to get on their nerves. And then finally, big brother comes around, hits you back. That shell shock that Vader has been living in for 10 years, where for his entire life, Anakin just got away with shit with Obi-Wan. And then comes Mustafar, and he almost kills him, but he doesn't do him the service of actually fucking killing him. And I think there's a lot of like, not only did you do this to me, what the hell? Since when are you the one who since when do you hit back? Mm-hmm. So like, there's a betrayal there, that Anakin has no right to feel, but you can see exactly why he feels it. Which again gives that I am what remains monologue so much more weight, because it's like, this is my last ditch effort to score a blow on you, be it emotional or physical. It's and like you said, that apology, it just
I think because I was talking with my friend Jake about this and just like the conversation and just how sort of I personally was pretty surprised with how much subtlety and nuance there was. I expected it to be like just a little clear cut, and it like was, but just not in the way I expected. And like my friend Jake said to me, he's like, I felt like if they dragged it on a bit more, it just would have retreaded the same ground. And I don't know if that would have worked. I'm like, yeah, That's a good point. Because like,
you're right.
All the lines,
like, I'm sorry for all of it. That's literally the prequels, and that's every episode of Kenobi up to this point.
I'm sorry I did. And like Mike Chen's Star Wars Brotherhood, like the whole crux of that book is Obi-Wan realizing Anakin needs a brother, not a father. Like, I can't be his dad. That was Qui-Gon, and I'm not Qui-Gon Jinn. I'm Obi-Wan Kenobi. And realizing like what their relationship should be. So like, there's that level of, like it's a baby raising a baby, where it's like, I wasn't ready to be a father, and it was too late for me to realize I wasn't supposed to be your father anyway. Like, there's just so much that just lended to Anakin being a little fucked up. It's beautiful. It's flawless. We could do an entire podcast. We could do an entire podcast series about that scene and that dialogue.
I just need to read all my thoughts that I wrote down.
Oh, for the fight, yeah, go for it. And then I'm kicking the Michael. Yeah,
like like this to me is just like I didn't realize it until after, or like maybe on a second rewatch. This is the Obi-Wan once thought as you do, and he's more machine now than man conversation just wrapped into one. Like obviously he's more machine now than man. Like that's, you know, the original trilogy, but like
you can
that
spot that on
reinforces
sight.
this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like this reinforces that. And like Obi-Wan, just up to that point, he still feels guilty about making Anakin what he is. And like Vader gives him the closure he needs, like unintentionally. Like he absolves Obi-Wan of his own guilt. But I'm pretty sure Anakin said all that shit because he's like, nah, I want credit for this. I killed Anakin Skywalker. You didn't do this shit. I did. And it's like, Obi-Wan's like, okay. Not obviously, but like, okay. Like Anakin is gone. I am what remains. Just digging the knife even harder into
There's
Obi-Wan.
gonna be so much fan art that is gonna leave me like needing to be institutionalized. It's gonna break me.
I'm
Like,
gonna
I
have
am
a new
not
phone
prepared-
wallpaper very soon.
Huh?
I'm sure.
I know, and every time I'm gonna make it my wallpaper, and I'm gonna look at it, and I'm gonna cry in
Like,
public, and people are gonna be like, "What's wrong?" I'm gonna be like, "Anakin didn't want this. This isn't fair.
I'm what remains.
We can fix him."
I feel I get like the I am what remains. Like Anakin Skywalker is dead. I am what remains. I feel like, and just I am not your failure, Obi-Wan. Just little bits of Anakin just trying to break through, and Vader just takes over. And then like when I feel like when Obi-Wan says, "I'm sorry, Anakin. I'm sorry for all of it." It's just like there's so much there, but like there's a part of me that wonders if he's sorry that he didn't end the job on Mustafar.
I think it's absolutely part of that. And I'm sorry, I just keep jumping in because it's Vader.
No, yeah.
The thing that I love is that I am not your failure, Obi-Wan, and I am what you made me. They're like this perfect pairing because I am what you made me has so much subtext. There is the obvious, you didn't kill me, therefore I'm back and nearly unkillable. I am the culmination of all of your teachings, both the things you weren't good at teaching and the fact that I am the greatest Jedi killer of all time because I was trained by one of the greatest Jedi of all time. And then you take that and you mix it with the I am not your failure. He's like, no, you didn't have the stomach to kill me, and now I can't die. Even now, while I'm choking on my own breath, I'm still probably going to survive because that's how much I hate you for what you did to me. Like, it's just this snake eating its own tail of resentment and like anger, but also the fact that like, in a way, he's more powerful because of Obi-Wan. And I'm sure that eats at him too. That like, I am only this unkillable tank that can take a grenade to the face because Obi-Wan didn't have the stomach to just kill me. Continue, Connor. I'm sorry.
No, but the last thing I just have one more statement and then just a question for everyone. So this is from Zach on Twitter at Flying Grace Son. He goes, I had this idea that he knew he never get a kill or be killed fight from Obi-Wan as long as he was feeling guilt over Anakin. So he was trying to bring Obi-Wan down to his level of anger, and it had the exact opposite effect.
I think there's absolutely truth to that. I think there is truth to that.
And just like, so I got to hear this. I got to ask this you, Jared, because like obviously he can't kill him, like for canon reasons, but like in your mind, why do you think he didn't?
I think he was going for the kill when he went for his head.
Yeah.
I think that was I think Obi-Wan was kind of in like a Papa Bear mode.
And he had there was this like quick shot of him like having this like sadistic, not even smile, but just like, I'm ready to kill this guy.
It was that like, I'm in it, I'm in the fight, it's going down kind of thing. I think Obi-Wan was going for the kill, and he went into that fight realizing it was probably going to be now. He was wrong, because he's talking to Qui-Gon, or at least trying to. I think he can't do it because he can see him. I think
Yeah.
Obi-Wan finally built up that like the Anakin Skywalker and Darth Vader are different people. My friend is gone. This is a monster. I have to protect Luke and Leia. Slashes the helmet apart, and now he sees his face. And not only is he seeing his face, he's seeing what he did to him.
Because that was the first time you've seen him, and you saw his face. He was like,
The makeup was phenomenal.
Yeah.
And
You
the
know,
visual
but
lighting too. I
Obi-Wan
didn't
was
even
just
talk
like-
about that. The best use of lighting, I think, just in any Star Wars, just ever.
This is
Oh,
Kylo killing Han levels of the lighting is an actor in the scene.
oh yeah.
Because you had the light from the lightsabers, and then like, you know,
It was just that was such a fantastic choice.
Plus
I
the
just
very
loved-
subtle eye color change as well.
yes, yeah, we saw that.
I almost never noticed that. I need to I keep rewatching it
Really?
looking for that, and I just
I
cannot.
noticed it. I don't
Maybe it's because
Yeah,
maybe it's because I have
it-
one eye, but like I just can't see it.
It's definitely in the edit. It's definitely the eye color changes for Vader while they're on Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
Because it's
Mhm.
as he's
'Cause
moving
I looked for it at first and it's not there, and then it shot back to Obi-Wan and then back, and then the eyes were yellow.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I don't know
Um,
if that's a post-production thing. I don't know if they like pop contact lens in the Hayden's eye. I don't know if it's practical or not. But they definitely make it so that when he moves and his lightsaber cascades him in like the Sith red is when he has the Sith eyes.
I just loved the disgust in Obi-Wan's face. The disgust and the sorrow when he sees him. He's like, "Oh, I did that to you."
It's like, oh,
Is that what the
I
lava
really
river
did
does to
light
a
you
man's
on
face?
fire.
yeah.
I really actually left you on fire.
Wow.
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 Well, now ain't that something?
See, now I want a version of that scene where it's edited to have like the Will Smith and Men in Black. Just, you know, Vader looks up with his like wound victim face peering out of the helmet, and just Will Smith just, damn.
Yeah.
That's Obi-Wan's only reaction. Like, fuck, are you all right? Did I do that now? That's Mustafar? Shit.
But yeah, I also kind of was on the same wavelength where like even though he says then my friend is truly dead and goodbye Darth, like that was
So
something
good.
we obviously
So good.
didn't need, but it was just such a wonderful reinforcement.
Perfect.
I still feel there's like
Lexi,
these-
hand up.
Sorry,
I
I
was
just want
just-
to say goodbye, Darth made me, but mostly Levi and Mike cackle. The way he said goodbye, Darth. Like,
Well,
peace out, Darth.
it's funny. And again, like going back to that, like that one journalist who was like, why do they need an explanation for Darth Vader killed your father? You know, like obviously they're like playing with like how deep in it Anakin is, right? But like it's also an acknowledgement of like the weird way that because again, George Lucas did not think Darth Vader was a given name, B, not Luke's father, and C, that
A
Darth
title.
isn't a title. Like whenever George
Yeah.
Lucas wrote that, his birth certificate read Vader, Darth. So
Yeah.
the fact that there's like a little like fun tongue-in-cheek acknowledgement of Obi-Wan just going, well, you know, I did just come up with like mean shit to say for Maul and Grievous, so I'm just gonna call you Darth now.
Yep.
I'm not even going to acknowledge the name Vader.
yeah.
To your
Kondo, what were
face.
you saying?
No, I was just saying that like I was kind of on the same wavelength with Jared because like before, okay, so like I completely like I said early on, like I completely forgot that, and maybe it's just the Mandela effect kind of stuff. I completely forgot that Vader never directly says in canon, like, oh yeah, I think Obi-Wan's dead. It's always other characters. Tarkin says it. And
Sorry, yeah.
Palpatine says it in Siege of Lothal, Season 2, Episode 1. In Rebels, it's never Vader. And I'm like, that's weird to me. But the second I realized that, I was like, oh, this makes so much sense. And it's like, he walks away because, I mean, like you said, Jared, he can't finish the job.
It's a
because,
mix of pity and mercy.
Yeah,
You know?
it's a mix of that. Because like, even though he said my friend's truly dead, it's like you still see a teeny bit of Anakin in him. You still
it's how impetuous he is. It's that same level of like, you made me mad, so I hate you forever. That Anakin has for like Newt Gunray, that Anakin has for Dooku. That granted, both bastards who deserve that level of hatred, but that's what he sees in Anakin. He's like, you have a grudge, and Vader or Obi-Wan, and not that Obi-Wan would ever be particularly proud of it, but he never gets to see the way that Vader is 9 times out of 10 very calm and collected and surgical. Like look at his fight with Reva in episode 5.
God.
Like the way he's like using the Force, like
To
Obi-Wan, like remove like the dark side, everything from it. Oh, like, and just tell Obi-Wan, look at Anakin go. Obi-Wan would be like, yeah, he'd be freaking out. He'd be like, you're kicking ass, dude. Good job. He would be so proud of him in theory for the way that Vader like conducts himself on the battlefield. Like, because he's calm, cool, collected. He's learned so much from Obi-Wan. Like, he is a tactician cut from the same cloth as Kenobi. And that's why it's so funny that when Obi-Wan shows up, he's just right back to being Anakin.
Yep, that's the one
Every
thing
time.
I never considered in the fight, because like I said, I think even earlier than like our predictions for episode 5, which I was completely wrong. Well, yeah, no, I was wrong. I was like, I just felt like the fact that Vader's just being shown as an absolute tank. I was like, there's no way Obi-Wan can beat him. There's just no way. And then like I totally just forgot the factor of like Anakin Skywalker was Obi-Wan's apprentice, and that's going to factor into the fight somehow, some way.
He's still
and
the
he
Padawan.
did. Yep, he's still the learner, and I'm like,
Never learned
how
the
did
lesson
I?
Obi-Wan taught him in those flashbacks in episode 5. This entire episode is him failing to learn that lesson.
Literally everything Obi-Wan said to him in that flashback just came back to haunt him in this fight, and I love that. Also, I want to say I really hope we get a name for that moon, because apparently, according to the leaks, apparently that's a moon on Mustafar, which is just metal as hell, because it just feels like a moon on from
Vader
Mustafar
just can't
system.
stop taking L's in that system.
He can't.
It's like, move the castle,
Yikes.
man.
It's the system where
Right.
Jedi go to die and Vader goes to lose.
Yeah, Vader goes to lose to his master.
And live.
And live.
Unfortunately.
But yeah, I really, it's the most. It's
then
one of the
Not to
most
mention the
Jedi
fact
things.
that the Knights of Ren robbed Vader's castle while he was still alive.
I still need to read that.
like, it's like literally nothing but L's. Cal Kestis Sincere Junda get away. Obi-Wan breaks in the Fortress Inquisitorius and re-kidnaps his daughter. Revenge of the Sith, and now this. And then the Knights of Ren just break into his house and rob him.
Mm-hmm. I think it was Mike, maybe it was Levi or both. They were just like, why didn't he kill him? He's gonna kill 20 million other people.
Yeah, I mean, you can get into, I mean, like, obviously, like, that moral quandary there, like, yeah, obviously, Obi-Wan's not right for not killing him. Like, that's not an issue. That's not the issue here. Like, that's not an argument to be made. Like, we all know the answer. Like, yeah, Obi-Wan's wrong for not killing Vader, but, like,
Again.
Both
that's
times.
not the point. That's
Mhm.
not the point at all.
And
He
I-
can't do it.
I so sincerely refuse to get into a why doesn't Batman kill the Joker conversation about Obi-Wan and Darth Vader. If you're having that conversation about Star Wars characters, you're missing the point so hard.
Yeah, I just...
Like, the whole point is like all of like the spiritual nature of the Force and like the interconnection between people, like in a fun, like, we're gonna make fun of the thing, even though we like it kind of way. Yeah, Obi-Wan should have ended him right there, both ethically to protect the galaxy and twins, and also let this man die. He's gonna keep going for another 12 years in agony, but nonetheless.
We digress.
Yeah.
What was the thing you were going to ask Michael?
Yeah, Michael, you were talking about like the dialogue being open to interpretation and stuff.
No, we were
wanna
just
get into that.
sort of talking about some of what I had to say about that. Of like, why does Obi-Wan let Vader live? Why does Vader choose to say, "I am not your failure"? Because initially that statement seems very contradictory to what he says on Mapuzo. "I am what you made me." You know, in that scene, he's blaming Obi-Wan for what happened to him, but in this scene, he is not letting Obi-Wan correct, destroying what he thinks is the weakness that was Anakin Skywalker. And you were sort of going into the Ouroboros of logic that creates for Darth Vader. So that's what I was kind of getting at, and Connor sort of got us started on that.
Oh,
Yeah,
perfect
it's a-
synchronicity here.
Yeah,
I'm trying to think.
I feel like
Also,
that's Anakin breaking through just a smidge. The whole "I am not your failure." But again, he's probably just trying to fuck with him.
Yeah,
Two sides.
Like I said, entire episode about that line of dialogue.
We could.
And
Also, I have to
we're
say,
on track to doing it right now. Honestly,
I have to say really quickly. So Joby Harold was announced to be the new writer for Obi-Wan, April 2nd, 2020. April 2nd is my birthday. Retroactively a top 3 birthday present. Joby, I know you're not listening. I know we're probably never going to get you on here, but like,
stranger things have happened.
you want to come on to Knights of the Nerd Republic to talk Obi-Wan Kenobi?
Just go outside of Lucasfilm with a sign. We could keep talking about this one element for another 3 hours. I do want to talk about like I don't want to call it the B plot because it's just as important.
Reva.
But Reva v. A well-regulated civilian militia that is Owen Lars and Baru White's son. There's rumors percolating about a Reva show.
I'd be down. Give me.
Too, but
Moses
I'm
Ingram
afraid of
deserves the
Star
world.
Wars fans.
I love this woman. She could end me, and I'd be fine with it.
Any of the anti-Moses people can eat shit and die for obvious reasons. However, Reva. Listen, I'm going to go back to an old joke from the old podcasts. When it comes to characters in TV and movie and such, I have a type. And Reva is my type. And a whole show about an ex-Dark Jedi finding redemption, probably through
not fucking dying.
And not dying, and like being a part of like the Force-sensitive Underground Railroad. How much money do I have to give Lucasfilm personally for that to happen? At first, when those rumors were percolating, it's like, oh, there's going to be a Reva show, and I'm like, oh, cool, a show about the Inquisitors. It's probably going to be about her redemption story, if when it happens. And I know it's not going to happen.
I know it's not going to happen at all. Because like production timelines and everything, I would love if she showed up in Jedi Survivor. Again, it's not going to happen.
I think it might be more possible than you're giving it credit, Connor.
I just don't. I mean,
this bun has been in the oven for so long, dude. We don't know.
That's true.
They've been working on Survivor for so long. Kenobi was in pre-production for a good while. Like we don't know.
They were both filmed in California too, I think.
I think our odds are better of Roken showing up. Like if I were a betting man, I'd say we'd sooner get Ice Cube Jr. with a Wookiee bowcaster, which still makes me happy
Oh,
that Roken
same.
was like, I want the biggest gun in the room. I got your path right here, you motherfucker. Anyway.
Also, I mean, we don't know when the path was created, but like, I didn't realize this until today. Like, Cal Kestis inadvertently destroying the holocron. What if he inadvertently created it?
I think he absolutely accidentally created the path.
Like some sort of domino effect bullshit.
Yeah, there was no way to like
Butterfly
hunt
effect.
down like the force sensitive children, be it for the Jedi or the Empire, and now everybody has to do it themselves. What I really want is for Roken to be in Jedi Survivor so that they can meet, they can go to Jabim, and Cal can talk to Roken, and Roken be like, yeah, or not Jabim, because obviously they had to leave that planet, but whatever happens with Cal and Roken, for him to be like, yeah, something, and then we had this operation where we sent Obi-Wan Kenobi to the Fortress Inquisitorius, and for Cal to be like, oh, wow, it is not easy getting in and out of there, and for Roken to be like, we really could have used you a couple months ago. That was a shit show. How'd he get in? He swam. Yeah, me too. Okay, cool.
How'd you get out? How'd he get out? Oh, he
broke a hallway underwater.
Levi, again, why would they build windows that could crack? That doesn't make sense. It's so stupid. Why did they do that? Why are they always cracking underwater? Especially if they're shooting blasters in there. What is happening?
You know, because we all build.
Why are there windows on literally any spaceship?
Yeah.
Yep.
You know,
but like also
architecture, where the first thing you think of is gunfights.
So
when building
I'll say this too. So a friend of mine who had like he knew a lot, not a lot, but he knew a decent amount of like what happens in this show before it came out. I was just curious, give me the general details of what happens with Reva in this episode. And he's just like, I'll tell you this. The original trilogy doesn't happen without Reva. And I'm like, huh, interesting. And then the second she comes back with Luke, framed almost exactly like Anakin carrying Shmi, I'm like, oh.
Which was probably really triggering for Owen and Beru.
At first they're like, oh shit, not again.
Yeah. Also,
not again.
Can we talk about when Owen? I loved
slow turn to a Shmi who's like 5 feet away anyway, because that's where they buried her, like right on the edge of the homestead. So they just kind of like, well, Shmi, you got company.
I love
Lexi,
I love that fight.
I do too. Lexi, you had your hand up real quick.
Oh, again about Mike. And this one was he's the one that mentioned the Shmi thing, right? You weren't there yet. You weren't there. He mentioned the Shmi thing, and then he's like, "It looks like Michelangelo's Madonna and Jesus." If you know the one where Mary is holding dead Jesus off the cross.
Yeah.
With his arm like slunk down,
it.
And it was like a brief moment. It was like a slow motion almost of Reva carrying Luke that way, and it just was really cool that Mike compared it to that. And that's when Levi was like, because he got real excited over that. He thought that was really cool. After the whole Shmi thing, yeah, I know. And he's like, symbolism, and I was like, yeah, that happens a lot.
Meanwhile, if it were Zack Snyder, it would be Reva carrying her lightsabers in the shape of a cross to light the way.
Oh no! And he's gone.
I love that scene too. Of when she like goes to kill. Like, here's the thing. Apparently, actually no, not apparently, but I just love that Luke never sees her saber.
No.
I thought the same thing. The entire time I'm like, oh, this is he has to be knocked out. Like, he's running and now he has to be knocked out because otherwise he'll see the lightsaber and then he'll know what a lightsaber is.
Yep. And just I loved when she goes in for the kill, it cuts to her. And then just
that was haunting.
That was
haunting. Little baby
rude,
Reva
man.
Ooh,
I was like, Deborah, you're rude for this.
One of the things I like with that, And I even said this to myself out loud, giggling like an idiot because Star Wars is silly sometimes. I was like, oh no, how are you going to hand wave the canonicity of this away? Like, this is weird. Why is like Luke's watching Reva use the Force and oh my God, she has her lightsaber. Oh no, like, how are we going to square this? I'm like, and then I start giggling to myself when he falls. I'm like, he fell and bumped his head and he doesn't remember any of this shit.
Yeah, they Goku'd him.
Oh no!
He's 10 and he bumped his head.
And
Your
just
father's
when she comes back
lightsaber.
with him,
You were almost stabbed with one of these 10 years ago.
yeah. Oh man. I love that Obi-Wan saving Reva was both what's the a refutation of mercy doesn't, defeat an enemy master. No, but it can save them. And just like it's a nice consolation prize for Obi-Wan. He couldn't get through to Anakin, but he saved Reva. And I love that.
Yeah.
Her act in there, probably the best in the entire show.
Oh my God. I mean, I made the joke earlier about like the Hayden Christensen, here's going to be like the for your consideration reel. Moses Ingram does deserve an Emmy for best supporting actress in a limited series. Like that again fucked me up. I was crying.
Mm-hmm.
Like watching her just break down, like I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. I failed it. Like that kind of survivor's guilt. Like, and again, this is why I love Reva so much as a character, is that every time we get like the fallen Jedi archetype, there's always something like, there's an arrogance and hubris and like I want to be bigger than this thing for power. And no matter where that comes from. And like every fallen Jedi has that. That's a part of their arc. Anakin wants power. Kylo wants power. Exar Kun, Darth Krayt, Count Dooku, all of them. There's a level of the dark side offers me a power that I otherwise would not have. And for Reva, she truly chose the dark side as in like an act of like desperation and in like from a place of, as Ken and Joseph from Force Center have been saying, that hurt people cycle of violence, that seeing her break it and the way that breaking it broke her and the way that, the way she throws the lightsaber aside, have I become him? I just, Lexi's like, like hug and lotion for Vader. I just wanted to scoop her up. I was be like, it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. You did the right thing. I was gone. I was sobbing. I was so gone because there's just a vulnerability there. And see, and like I think there's something to the fact that like Obi-Wan Kenobi is Obi-fucking-Wan Kenobi, right? That when she fell apart, I think there was a part of her that was like, a Jedi Master is here. I'm okay. On some level, that like there was the nature of I am in a safe place, and the way that like Owen and Beru, I cannot say that they would have been in the wrong if once they set Luke down, Owen just turned around and blam, like you took my you almost killed my child, like I understand that kind of retribution, but I love the way that like Owen and Beru, despite all the shit Owen talks, just kind of knew this is some Jedi shit. I'm gonna let y'all handle this. And then Owen and Beru,
glad this child is alive. Like
we're glad the kid's alive, and if Obi-Wan's reacting the way he is, this is definitely above our pay grade. I was also
No, real quick, because like there was that thing where Deborah Chow said like before the show came out, she's like, yeah, the one thing I want to say is like, I want to thank George Lucas for casting Joel Edgerton as Owen Lars. And I'm like, what's going to happen?
Such a nuanced performance.
Oh, and Beru too. Like the line that kills me the most is I know Ben is gone. Whose fault is that? It's like she just threw him under the bus.
To his face. Also, I love Beru. I love Beru so much. I know everyone's been talking about like Space Antifa, Beru, White Sun. Just like the second she saw an Imperial, just boom. Like, she didn't even try to shoot her. She just grabbed a pipe and started swinging. Like, bad bitch. But it's so beautiful. And oh shit, I had a thing and I lost it. Damn it. Other people start talking.
Was it
While I try to
about?
find this thought.
Oh, was it about like Reva and Obi-Wan?
Yeah.
Okay.
I
Well,
lost
I
it.
want to.
It's okay, Michael.
I think with Eva, it's really interesting where her story will go from here, because we will almost certainly see her again.
You better.
Character is so incredible in the show, and
Well,
Michael,
Oh.
we keep losing you, buddy.
Yeah, I think we
she's
Our
so incredible in the show.
communications
And yeah, period.
uh,
Done. End of sentence.
because communications disruption can mean only one thing: invasion.
Lexi, Travis, Reva.
I love her. What?
I want so badly
I'm back.
to make. Oh, he's back.
Somehow, Michael McCoy has returned.
Yeah, it's my line. I have to fight every fiber of my being that wants me to make the joke about how I don't like Reva because she's black and a woman. Which is, I love Reva. She's perfect, and in the perfection that is the Obi-Wan Kenobi series, Reva is a part of that as a character. But every single time I've heard someone in my personal life be like, I just don't like she's whiny, and I'm like, if it was a dude, you wouldn't care. If it was a dude doing this role, you'd be like, that's a badass Inquisitor hunting down Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Absolutely.
Damn
Absolutely.
And
There
they
is
don't
only
believe me. And
one.
I'm like, bro, you don't know.
There is only one person on this earth who I have heard say, I don't like Reva. And I was like, I know you're not an asshole because you hate every character like this. And it was Joel.
Yeah.
Oh, he did the
I
review
wanna
for the
point
first
out-
2 episodes.
The person that said this to me also not an asshole, and like obviously was not intending the I don't like her because she's a black woman. But I was like, A, it's like you've only watched one episode. I'm sick of everyone in media talk in general, but like Star Wars especially, going, wow, we had an episode with this character and it wasn't everything. I don't like you.
I don't
get
understand this character immediately, so I don't like them.
in 20 minutes. Yeah, exactly. What the TV keeps changing.
Oh, I was
Yeah.
like, what was that light that changed?
It's like you can't expect to understand a character in 20 minutes, especially when they're new. And I was talking to somebody else about like
It's not TNAP without communications disruptions.
Nailed it.
It's
I
really
was so
not.
funny. That was such a cliffhanger. But yeah,
Ugh.
like Joel's the only person I've talked to who's like, I don't like Reva. And they weren't like an asshole about it. And the thing was, Joel even he was like, Moses Ingram, great in the role. I just don't like this character. And I was like, yeah, par for the course. They're back. They pop back into the thing.
Why is half of me missing?
it was using there we go.
Oh,
I started using my laptop camera. Anyway, they were like, I couldn't get into Mando, but I can get into Obi-Wan. And I said, yeah, because Mando's trying to introduce new characters, new places, and like establish things in its opening episode. And that takes a
It
lot
also
of
helps
writing
that
time.
Joby Harold's a better writer.
Yeah, well. And like, you give a shit about Obi-Wan because
No disrespect to John. None.
like you don't need to establish anything. Like we know who if you're watching Obi-Wan Kenobi, you know who Obi-Wan Kenobi is, and you know he's on Tatooine, and you know who Owen
the
is.
nostalgia helps.
Exactly. Like they let that do some of the heavy lifting. In the same way with Marvel stuff, like Moon Knight and Miss Marvel, with some people aren't doing as well because they're these brand new things establishing brand new characters that have to do a lot of legwork to establish those things versus a Loki or a WandaVision where it's playing off stuff we already know. This is kind of working in reverse. Obi-Wan's working entirely with And I think maybe that's part of the reason Reva's gotten such a mixed reaction, even though she's like one of the best written character in the show, maybe, is that like she's new. And so to people that aren't on the back end of the Nazi Star Wars pipeline, which I had to explain to my mother the other day, that was a fun talk.
I was trying to explain that to my coworkers earlier today. It was interesting.
Because I
will
mentioned
never explain this. I will never do this to people. They will never find out.
I die a little bit every time I say the word Phantom Menace to a normal person.
Yeah.
I said like, oh yeah, unlike the back half of the Star Wars fandom that are Nazis, and she like laughed at it, and I'm like, Mom, I'm not kidding. They're literal Nazis. But yeah, like I think just the fact that she was a new character and she wasn't the normal complexion or gender identity of a person that we see in Star Wars.
I think another like weird element to it that I find really frustrating, and this goes back to like I can't remember their name. There was someone on TikTok, that Soups guy. Everybody always makes fun of.
Bro, at this point he knows what he's. I know what he's doing. Like he has to purposefully be making these videos, knowing everyone's gonna freak the fuck out. Like there's no way he doesn't know what he's doing, and I'm not even mad at him for it. I'm mad at everyone else who won't stop stitching and retweeting him.
Quit engaging.
You haven't. You're like the one. I think you've retweeted one single thing of his. That's all I've seen. I'm so sick of seeing him.
I can't stand him. He's one of my least favorite people in the space, and that's saying something because I step into the ring with those literal Nazis you're talking about quite frequently. But it's that like Soupsian way of watching things, of like, this is an ongoing narrative that is not yet completed, but also, who's this other person who is an Obi-Wan or Darth Vader? Like there are like it's the two genders, Obi-Wan Kenobi and Darth Vader. Those are the only fucking people in this show. That is the only thing I want to see are these two people. And it's like, yeah, I'm here for Vader too, man. Like I like it's what I said at the end of episode 2, when we 1 and 2, where I was like, I was super into Obi-Wan's story, and then I caught a glimpse, a small little moment, a sliver of Darth Vader, and I went, yeah, that's who I'm here for. Fuck the guy with the beard. I'm here for the crazy robot man. Like, I get it. Vader is everything for me as well, but like, it's not just Ewan and Hayden, and it is this like. And it's the thing that I love about this show and love the way it's pissed off all the right people is that this is proof. And it's this guy who stitched Soups and did like the ultimate Soups takedown, where he was like, you do not like stories. You like moments. You like clips that you can harvest nostalgia and
you like PowerPoints or whatever it was.
Yeah, you want a PowerPoint slideshow with clips in it. And that way that people have been watching this show, of they just want to skip to Darth Vader swinging his lightsaber at Obi-Wan, and Obi-Wan saying something like, something, Anakin, something, chosen one, something, I love you, something, I'm sorry.
And hello there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hello there. Yeah, he said the line, something, whatever. And then Vader just breathing and being scary and evil. Like, and then like a random flashback to them in the Clone Wars with like Ashley Eckstein and orange face for some fucking reason. Like you just want a slideshow. You just want a slideshow. You just want fan edits in live action.
Yep.
You don't want an actual story. And I think that you can separate the I want a fan slideshow from the weirdo Nazis, but a lot of the time there's overlap of just I want to watch the white guys fight, where like a lot of it just kind of starts to slowly coalesce into that. But people talking shit on Reva make me angry.
Also, can I just mention that, like, okay, so like because I looked it up because I was really curious. Moses Ingram graduated from where's the college? Why? She graduated in June 2019 from Yale.
Yeah.
And literally a year later was starred in The Queen's Gambit, 4 episodes, miniseries, and then just 2 years later, Obi-Wan Kenobi. She's probably
just getting started. She's just getting started. We're gonna look back on her performance in Obi-Wan Kenobi in like 5, 6, 7 years when she's done more shit and like won 3 Oscars or whatever and go, wow, this is a pretty mid Moses Ingram performance. This bitch can act her ass off. Like, I want so much more of her in like everything.
And like, we're talking about, she's being directed by Deborah Chow.
This whole team. I was super. I don't need Kenobi season 2. I absolutely want one. I have a pitch. I'm saving my full pitch for next week when we review this on stream. Because I wrote the whole fucking thing down. Like, I have a whole flow chart of how you do a season 2.
I don't want a season 2 though. Really?
There's
like,
only
I
one
really
story.
don't.
There's only one story I think
But hear
could
me out.
work. And
Lola,
I
I
think it's on the same wavelength as Jared. I think.
Sorry, Connor. I didn't hear what you said because Travis had to make a joke about Lola, a Star Wars story. Do you mind repeating yourself again? Because I heard stupidity.
Well, I want to say to that. I want to respond to that. I'd watch it. Give me that.
Me too. I would too. But
also, I kind of think I know where. Maybe I'm just forgetting because I think Jared talked about it in the group chat I'm in with him about like what his pitch is. But like I'm pretty sure he and I are on like the same wavelength. Of, like,
I did. I sent it into that chat.
Story.
And
okay.
And that's the thing. I'm very okay with this ending here. I like when I say like I need another one. It's one of those like it's one of those like I want to have like candy for breakfast type of things. Where it's like
just a primal carnal desire.
like, especially the way it ends. Where I'm like, you mean I can have more Qui-Gon? I can have more Qui-Gon. Like I want more. I want more. I trust this team so much. Like the only restriction you have is Obi-Wan can't fight Vader again. That's really the only one. Because like the way this ends, maybe Obi-Wan is okay with leaving Tatooine from time to time. You know, maybe there's something that like he gets involved with Bail. Like there are stories to tell.
Yeah, but I don't want them.
And
I don't
fine.
like I want them, but I don't want. You know what I mean? I don't want to keep wanting more.
I
don't want more when we've peaked with Obi-Wan's storytelling.
Right. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, you literally cannot. Like the whole like he can't. Like you can't. Dude, you can't top episode 6, that episode 6 duel. You just can't. Yeah. Like, that was just peak Obi-Wan versus
I think
Vader.
it was a great ending to that half.
Arc. Yep.
And because it has such implications to the overall saga, to just follow it up with, like, a lower stakes Obi-Wan plot, it would just be in the shadow of that first season.
Yep.
Yeah. Also,
not to say it wouldn't be good, but it wouldn't be this.
Yep, exactly. That's what I mean. Like I would watch it and I'd still like it probably, but this was such a nice bow on the package that like
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. I think
maybe a separate show or something, but
something like that. Yeah. I think the trick with it is even though it's lower stakes, keeping it personal. And I think there are ways to do it. But again, this is such a high, and you know, I said when the show started that like with how it ends, you know, like obviously all of us here we're all Star Wars fans, so just hello there, just is everything. But like the way that like that's the first thing he says to Luke in A New Hope, you know, and. Even though the story was
to R2D2 in A New Hope.
Oh, I hit the wrong one. I tried to
nailed it.
And I hit the
Good
wrong
job,
window.
idiot.
Oh my
dunked on
gosh. Oh.
Yep, there we go.
All right, so this is my show now. So
Yep. Okay.
No, it's my show, actually.
That's what happens. You defeated him in combat, therefore.
Yeah. He defeated me in combat, but he still. I might have to edit that out. I sure hope Eli's thing comes out before this episode.
It comes out on Sunday.
They come out on the same day.
But no, like, okay, so like, I don't know what you guys were thinking. I did not expect Obi-Wan to go back to Alderaan.
When he had Lola, which was another that was the first time I cried in the episode.
Oh yeah,
that was my first. Because it's super dark. That's one of my only complaints. Is how it's
Same.
shot. Is
I was
the brightness up,
especially on Tatooine. I was really struggling in some of the Tatooine scenes.
It was hardest for me when he was in the cockpit of that shuttle, and because when I was watching it with my sister, she was like, "What is Obi-Wan looking at?" Like you could not see that it was Lola at first, and I was like, again, talking through tears, it's Lola because Leia doesn't want him to be afraid. And my sister was like, "Oh, you train her young to know that Star Wars is just gonna make you sad. When you get too invested, this is just about being sad for sport." But
yep.
Whenever Lola was there, I knew he was gonna go to Alderaan, and I loved that moment. I loved that scene. I loved hearing.
What was he gonna do? Not return Lola?
That'd be funny as shit.
Still,
that would be
Lola.
funny
Well,
as
this is
hell.
my comfort.
I'm putting this in my box next to Anakin's lightsaber.
My Skywalker
these little-
collection, if you will.
These Skywalkers keep fucking up my day, so I'm just gonna keep taking shit from them.
Another fine addition. Maybe I'll sell this one to Tika.
I'll give you this droid if you give me my goddamn capacitor for my lightsaber. You little fuck. But no, I was super happy with the return to Alderaan. I knew either he was going to go back to Alderaan or the new funniest Star Wars meme was going to be Obi-Wan Kenobi stealing from a child. One of those two things was going to happen.
And Levi was like, so he just took their ship. He's not going to return their ship. He just doesn't return their ship. And I was like, well, how is he going to leave? Like, what? I don't think they really care.
It was an escape shuttle.
Yeah.
Yeah, his entrance also kind of reminded me of it just had vibes of Revenge of the Sith to me.
It
Yeah,
did, for
you're
sure.
right.
Yeah. But yeah, I love the little interaction. I love him. I love Owen. If there was one thing
You
I did
want
not
me? I was like, oh shit.
if there's one thing I did not put money on for this show, it would be Owen having an arc.
Same.
Yeah.
But he still does not want Obi-Wan anywhere near Luke. Understandably so. But the way that after everything that happened, however much time passes between him swinging by the homestead and everything with Reva, the way that Owen just kind of has that moment of do you want to meet him? That is such that's the biggest olive branch he's ever going to get from Owen.
Mm-hmm.
But
well, it's because he gives one first, right?
Yeah,
Obi-Wan acknowledging if we train him now, something's going to go wrong. He needs to be a full person before we ask him to do basically the impossible.
before we
2.5
tell him it's on
times.
him to save the galaxy.
Right. So, I think Owen was so anti Obi-Wan because Obi-Wan was so, we got to get on this, And so seeing Obi-Wan go, hey, I know, I get it.
He needs
now,
to be a kid. He needs to be a boy.
was enough for him to be like, okay, I can budge too, I guess.
And I so wonder how much of that has to do with we see how it turned out with Anakin, shoving him into this at exactly his age. You got to wonder how much of that is involved.
I completely forgot about hello there being a thing. Like, I straight up forgot. And
love
then it
that.
just kept
So I wanted
zooming
to
in.
ask you all this. This episode, more than any other piece of Star Wars TV, I think had tons of lines coming back and callbacks and references, very direct. You know, there was the Darth thing earlier. We get hello there. It worked totally fine for me. And normally that's the sort of thing that I loathe. Like, I was dreading a hello there moment in the show. It's like, haha, funny meme. He said the funny thing. Ha ha ha. Are you all happy now? He said the thing. Isn't it funny? Like, I was so
Michael,
dreading it.
I
but it
really
turned out
wish
to
you
be
could have
great.
seen some of the streams I did for Celebration.
Oh, God, yeah.
Because every time someone got interviewed on the main stage and like found a way to like sneak in their character's line, I just
a
started
Venza.
screaming. Like, oh my God, that pit. I love Tamora Morrison, but like the crowd just literally doing the shit from Shrek 4 where they're like, say like a panther. Like, did you even watch the show? It's just a slideshow for you fucking people. Anyway, I was the same way, Michael. I did not want him to hear him say hello there because I knew that would have ended up dominating the discourse. It would be like, he said the thing, you know, like I didn't want it at all. And this was,
You know,
Yep.
because I took a day to watch it, right? It's the day after. That is the only thing I had spoiled for me out of this episode. And I chop it up to the fact that it was that line, and I'm okay with that.
It was like not exactly a cringy moment. Like they waited till the end, and you know
where they didn't use one that I thought they would. During the fight when he puts Obi-Wan in the sinkhole, it pans up to Vader, and I really thought he was about to be like, I got the high ground.
I really thought they were about to make like indie rapper Joey Valance a prophet, because right before this show came out, I found this guy on TikTok and I love his music. And he has this one song that's like a meme on TikTok now where people are using it in a lot of Star Wars edits. But he has a line where he says, I'm a king and you're just a pawn. Who's got the high ground now, Obi-Wan? And I was like, and this song came out like not even a month before the show. And I was like, this is perfect timing. Like, this guy's a genius when he dropped the song. And Vader's just staring down the chasm. I'm like, this Joey Valance guy is about to be a millionaire. From how many streams in one day this song is going to get because he predicted the finale of Kenobi. Travis 100% thought that's exactly where it was going.
Same.
And I
said we got a Spider-Man scene. So that was cool.
Yeah.
That was immediately they put the wrong. Yeah, and I'm like, oh, they're going to do the Spider-Man thing.
Yep, exactly what I thought too.
I didn't even think of that, but that's so perfect.
If there's one thing I would have added to that scene, I don't know what line of dialogue, because I don't think there's still good in him. I know it would have been appropriate. I wish we would have heard Padme's voice. Like, I wish there would have been a moment in there of like, acknowledging her, because throughout the whole show we can see how much that specifically is weighing on Obi-Wan. And I think having a moment where like Padme is acknowledged in that, like, protect the children, protect the children, protect the children, protect the children, remember their mother who did not ask for this. I think that like that's like again, I can count on like one hand the amount of like very specific like tweaks I would make, but 90% of them are just like, here's a really small callback you can make to add to like the poetry and the tapestry. Take a drink, if you will. Somewhere Alden just looked up. I don't have a drink with me tonight. I can't do it. But yeah, no, I also like that, and I didn't notice this. Matt, the Fortress of Solitude guy on Twitter, who used to be a part of Comic Book Cast, he does his own thing now. He pointed out, I believe it was him, that Obi-Wan at the end of the episode, or at the end of the show, is wearing the outfit he has in the comics.
From the Journals of Obi-Wan. Yep. from the Journals of Obi-Wan Kenobi, which
The
take
Journals
place
of
like
Obi-Wan,
2
yeah.
years to a year before this.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because in those comics, he lives in the hut.
Mm-hmm.
So, interesting. But whatever.
Meh. It's so
This
cool.
show
he
has
has the
ruined
outfit.
canon, Connor. Why did you have to say that?
Connor was
Again,
like,
it's
if I
not
can't have Depa Balaba's lightsaber stay the same color, no one gets anything nice.
And
Also,
I just wanted
sorry.
to add about like Padme stuff, even though it didn't. I love Padme so much. It broke me when he was talking to Leia about the parents
Oh
and
my
what she
God.
got from them.
That was when the tears started coming for me.
Oh, that hurt my soul. Oh, Padme and Anakin.
And the way
I'm
that
so
like
sorry.
he was able to even talk about Anakin at all was so like, just saying what he said about Anakin hurt him in so many different ways. And I also love, as I've seen a lot of people, in the discourse talk about how, yes, Leia is Anakin, like Luke and Leia are Anakin's kids, but like we are also taking away from like the importance Owen, Beru, Bale, and Brea have for them. And I love the fact that this final episode, even though there's that beautiful moment where he's like, Princess Leia Organa, you are all these things that were at Anakin and Padme. That with Owen, like we said earlier, you get that he is my own line. And after Obi-Wan says all of that to Leia, she still takes a beat and goes, yeah. And obviously she doesn't say it, but she basically looks at them and goes, yeah, that's great. And thank you. Those are my parents.
But these are my parents. Yep.
Like she might have the mighty blood of the chosen one running through her veins, but that's Bail Organa's kid.
Mm-hmm.
Like I do not care what a DNA test says. That's Bale's kid.
She is Organa in every way, as Bale said.
I love the way that for Leia especially, because Luke is easy because his last name is Skywalker and he's the one who gets all the cool shit with Vader to do all the ways and all the parallels and all that stuff. I love the way that this show for Leia especially focuses on the like reducing her to being a capital S Skywalker. Pardon my hiccups. Takes away from how important her adoptive parents are to who she is. And I think it's really impressive how well this show was able to straddle the Organa Skywalker line in a really beautiful and meaningful way. Because Star Wars is, among other things, about found family, and it's very sweet. It was very, very nice.
This episode just encapsulated, like you just reminded me of something I was going to say, which was this episode just so well encapsulated all the core themes of Star Wars, which especially to me mean found family and redemption. And this episode had both in spades. And so I think that's a large contributing factor as to why this is now my favorite live action episode.
Well, I said it last week and I'm going to say it again, and I'm not ready to say it yet, whether or not I like it more or not. But this is on the level of The Last Jedi for me. And it's because it's those two stories that, again, at their core are about about family, found or otherwise, about redemption, about choosing to be better than like the easiest thing in front of you. Like, yes, you can choose revenge, and yes, you can choose to go on these rampages.
That's the easy part. That's the easy path.
Is the dark side more powerful? No, but it's easier. Like fuck Yoda, but he wasn't wrong on that one. Yoda slander account. It's about all of those things. It's about it's about something that Star Wars has become about, is that like processing grief and trauma, and the way that the Force is such a good vehicle for stories like that. And it's all of those themes mixed with all of the motifs, with like the pulpy vibe, and it's a swashbuckling samurai western, diesel punk, whatever. Like, this is just so Star Wars to its core on like a molecular level, and it's absolutely up there. I don't know if I'm ready to pull the trigger and say this is my new favorite Star Wars, but it's hanging out with The Last Jedi and Return of the Jedi for me.
I 100% agree. Because I was just thinking earlier today, I had posted about on Twitter that the mark of good Star Wars is when it inspires me to want to create and inspires me to want to make something that makes people feel the way this made me feel. But another thing that is a mark of good Star Wars to me is how long it lingers with you. Because I don't know if a piece of Star Wars content has been like, that's not true. There's been a few books and stuff where I've read it, and then just throughout the day, the next several days, it just creeps back into my mind, and I just find myself thinking about it. Because normally, I watch a piece of Star Wars content, and I really enjoy it, but it's not my focus in day-to-day life. I've got things to do. I've got work. But even just while I'm just at work washing dishes or something, I'll just be thinking back to that Obi-Wan Vader scene, and that was something that The Last Jedi was for me, where, I went and saw it in the theater and I really liked it. And then over the coming days, it just kept coming back to me. And I just kept just marinating on it and just tossing around the themes in my head and wondering why certain choices were made and trying to just unravel all the depth and layers and themes to all of this. And this show did that. And this episode in particular nailed it.
Speaking of The Last Jedi, I have to say it, in a spoilery space, I love the parallels between Obi-Wan and Vader on undisclosed moon in the Mustafar system. I love the parallels between that and Luke and Kylo Ren on Crate.
Yeah,
like the framing at the very beginning of that, like you have the wide shot of them both just kind of like sizing each other up, getting ready to throw down. And
the dialogue when the fight starts. Did you come here to kill me or whatever? Or,
did you come here to destroy me, Obi-Wan?
Yeah. And both of them have that very like, no, I will do what I must. Or it's like, we can get to that later. First things first, I need to kick your ass real quick.
Yep. And then like there's that moment where Vader stops Obi-Wan's saber with the Force, and it's like grandfather, like grandson.
Exactly. There's that. And like namesake, and Alden pointed this out, and I'm glad he did because I thought I was crazy when I saw it, is that Obi-Wan does the like Kylo Ren, like pointing the barrel of the lightsaber down, like not just like the Sarisu opening stance, where like he does the like pointing him down with both hands, and Alden recorded it and like turned the volume up. There's even a little bit of that like lightsaber crackle when they get right on top of him. Like there's so many parallels in the way that like Vader and Kenobi swap the Ren Skywalker position in the fight a couple times. I think is just really powerful. And like at the end of the day, both of the fallen Skywalkers are left just in the anguish of how toxic and violent their current state is. At the end of the day, you leave Kylo Ren standing amongst his army, losing another family member and being angry in the way he was embarrassed. And in the same way, you have Vader, who's just nothing and left with nothing.
Isn't it incredible how this show that was a bridge between the prequel and the original trilogy, and thus primarily draws on those two pieces of source material, is still able to echo the sequel trilogy and tie in parts from every part of canon? You've got the Inquisitors from Rebels. You've got Fortress Inquisitorius from Jedi Fallen Order. Every single piece of Star Wars media has some influence in this show.
And we still didn't talk about it. Qui-Gon.
Still haven't talked about Qui-Gon.
You said Qui-Gon and I got choked up because I just got that image of him appearing in my head again.
Took you long enough.
I was just about to say he turns. Took you long enough, God.
That's what I said to Liam Neeson
sent
when
you
he
the address
appeared on my
3
television in
times.
the last minute of the show.
And like, I love the fact that he's like, I was always here, Obi-Wan. You just weren't ready to see it. It's like, dude, that's his entire arc distilled in one line when it comes to the Force.
Well, the thing that I loved about that was that, like, one of my theories watching the first episode was the nightmare Obi-Wan has about Anakin in the cave.
I don't think you're right, but that's on you.
Well, that's fine. It's an interpretation that I enjoy.
Because he said he wasn't ready to see him yet, so I don't think that...
You're right, wasn't ready to see him. Qui-Gon's also the kind of guy that my main thing is that there were scenes that Obi-Wan wasn't present for, like him in the ship above Naboo and the pod race. Like, but again, I'm just like, for me, I like the interpretation that even though Qui-Gon was like, okay, he's not ready to have a one-on-one conversation, but like, I'm just gonna nudge him, like just give him a little push in the right direction. Try to like get him in the headspace where he's like prepared for what is coming, and like that feels like Qui-Gon to me. Is it like, I know you're not ready for the full weight of even me being in the picture, but like, you gotta get you going in the right direction. And it just, like he said, he's like, I've been here. You just weren't ready for me. It was so beautiful. And I love their relationship and the catharsis that came with seeing Qui-Gon. Like that, I have no words for it. It just, it filled my heart.
That's the icing on the cake. Truly.
And I'll be honest, I was preparing myself to either not see Qui-Gon at all, let me rephrase that. I was preparing us to either not get Qui-Gon at all, or that all we were going to get was like Obi-Wan setting up his little hut and then like hearing a disembodied Obi-Wan, and that be it.
I was starting to wonder what, after the Luke hello there scene, or during it rather, my brain wandered for just a moment and I was like, we still haven't gotten Qui-Gon. I was like, maybe we're just not gonna get it. And it wasn't like an angry thing because I was just so enthralled with what we had gotten. I was like, I don't even care at this point if we don't get it. And then sure enough, the last scene of the show, we get it. And I was very happy.
It's just so beautiful. He's just everything that this story needs. Like and there's a part of me that almost wishes that like, and that very like, you care about these characters, where there's a party that's like, can we put Qui-Gon in front of Anakin?
Yeah.
Can we have like the one motherfucker that isn't Luke Skywalker talk to this idiot for like 5 minutes?
Yep.
And spend like a minute and a half motherfucking him and then going, okay, how are you feeling? Because clearly something is wrong here. Like it. But that's another great parallel, though. Now that I say that, like, Vader's trapped with Palpatine. Obi-Wan gets to like have his master back.
Yeah.
In some way.
Vader's on a leash, which we didn't talk about. Like that moment with Vader and Palpatine to me, like,
crack. Ooh.
Yeah, it's just like he has such a grip.
You seem agitated.
Yeah, it's just like Palpatine has such a grip on Vader that like this, he goes from Kenobi, I want to find him, to Kenobi means nothing. I only serve you, my master.
What a lie. What a lie. He
Yo.
wants it to be true so bad, but he's like deep down seething still about Obi-Wan.
I think a friend of mine put it out on Twitter real perfectly. Like, if Vader was like truly Sith, he would body Palpatine the second he could. And like, again, we've seen that in the comics. He's tried to, and Palpatine's just like, fuck off.
Well, that's another thing that I love about the new canon so much is the way that, like, in Legends, you almost get the vibe that immediately Vader's like, when can I kill this guy? Like
Reva.
Vader. Well, Vader immediately starts out with like, when can I kill him? And then just kind of slowly goes, all right, fine, I'll just submit. And then he's that way until Luke. But there's always a little bit of like, I'm going to get a chance to kill you eventually, though. And I love how in canon that, like, all Vader has left is Palpatine and the Empire. And that he surrenders himself to it as much as he can. Like you were saying, Lexi, there's a part of him that can't quite get there. And I love that, like you were alluding to, Connor, with like the 2020 Vader run, where he it was Charles Soule Vader, where he like gets off the table and immediately lashes out at Vader or Sidious.
Yep.
But like eventually he's just like, this is what I have left.
It's like, this is the only order I have, or something.
And
someone made a really nice parallel to like Vader and Palpatine, and just how that sort of like serves and gives Anakin his only like father figures. There was some tweet somewhere that like went into it really well, and I'm like, that's fucked up, but like, god damn it, it's also true.
That's fucked up. You're not wrong. But yeah, no, this episode was incredible. I'm blown away by Obi-Wan Kenobi, and I cannot wait to talk about this show in totality.
I can't wait to rewatch it all.
I know. I'm really hoping I can sneak in a full rewatch before we try to do a full review, which, again, shooting for next week. That, depending on guest scheduling, I don't even want to say that out loud yet because I'm not 100% sure if it's going to pan out. But fingers crossed, you guys have seen them before. Does anybody have any final thoughts before we bring this puppy home?
I don't believe so. It was just amazing, and I cried, and yes, that's all.
Best
Star Wars.
Best Star Wars.
This episode, this whole series was just inspirational to me. I've said it before, and I'll just say it one more time. This sparked creativity that was dormant within me, and it makes me want to make more content because that's the power of Star Wars.
That it is. Connor, did it make you see?
No.
Damn.
Well, Connor, only when your eyes are closed can you truly see.
Yeah.
Can you not see out of your one eye?
Nope. Still no. Apparently it was pretty severe, so yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna see out of this eye again.
Woo!
Yeah.
Okay. It's been a while since I've spoken to you like this, so I just wanted to throw that in there. I'm so sorry.
Oh no,
but I really do love Connor the One-Eyed Knight. That's awesome. Love that
we'll
name.
talk off air.
It's a very
cool.
High Republic kind of name for him too.
Yes. Yeah.
Very, very buckets of blood, blade of Bardota.
Don't forget, Eye of the Storm.
I knew the second I said High Republic, I'm like, he's going to do the Marquis Rowe impression, isn't he? Yep,
I don't know what you're talking about. I intercepted this transmission. I've got to go order food now. Goodbye.
Pan Eta forgot my moves.
Well, that was weird, Michael.
Yeah,
he does
Michael.
that. He takes over my Wi-Fi feed sometimes. I think that's why my connection.
Man, you gotta get Marquis Rowe and Pong Krell stands under control. They keep messing with your stuff.
Look, I don't want to talk about Pong Krell stands. Okay, I'm trying to get his merch off my store.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he's going to be making more though. So.
Was that the account? Are you?
I don't want to talk about it. I know who runs the account, and they have their merch on my TeePublic store. It's a long story. It's a whole thing.
Oh God, let's end
Maybe I'll
this.
walk out of here tomorrow and you never see me again. That's really what I want to do.
Might be coming true, Alex. Might be coming true. Hopefully in the way we all want it to.
Next month, trial.
Looking forward
Fingers
to it.
crossed. Yeah. Michael McCoy, another person I spread the good word of knowledge fight to. Indirectly. It's like the Padawan lineage. It's like
Yeah.
Dooku to Qui-Gon to Obi-Wan.
You were
like
Dooku, Jerry was Qui-Gon, I'm Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
Who's your Vader?
Huh? Oh,
Who's your Vader then, Michael?
Ponkrell stands.
no policy wonk. No girl stands.
Ponkrell is gone. I am what remains.
Michael, where can the lovely people find you and all that you do? Oh, I don't
I'm
know.
back,
Marky
I
on.
think.
Oh, there he is. I think.
Oh,
I think
Maybe?
Markion took over again. Oh,
Am I
wait.
there
back?
we go.
Yeah.
You're back.
Yes.
Okay, sorry. You asked me like the second I disconnected. So, you can
Almighty
find-
Eye of the Storm. Where can the people find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Local First Order. I sometimes post Star Wars thoughts or Marky on Row impressions, so you can follow me there. You can find me on YouTube, All Remaining Systems. I occasionally write Star Wars short stories and post readings of them on there. I highly recommend listening to my most recent one, There Is No Chaos. And I've got another one in the works, and I've got a new series for All Remaining Systems currently in the works that I'm keeping sort of quiet right now as I work out the details, but it should be coming next month probably. So,
As someone who is in the know about it, I'm very excited for it. Michael's also one of my favorite writers in this space. As you said, Star Wars is great whenever it's spawning fan-generated content. And if you guys go back and watch 2021's Bombad Cast Halloween special, we read one of Michael's short stories, and I got really into it. And I've gotten into every story you've written. I love your
thank you.
style of writing for Star Wars. Just got to get that merch store taken care of. Lexi and Travis, where?
I'm working on it, Jared. I'm working on it. It's a volatile situation.
Real quick though, I just want to say, with all the creatures that I was seeing in the show, I kept saying, content! There's content, creature content, because I just love the Eope. That was another thing. Levi was like, why is it still alive? Who is feeding it? Why is it there? And I was like, leave my Eope alone.
He went to
Eco
work
were feeding
Obi-Wan
it.
shift and he got money to buy water.
Yes.
I would walk through fire for Levi. He is such a joyless fuck sometimes. And I've told him as much, but goddamn, dude. Leave the Eope alone.
I saw the Eope and was like, content, it's there, it's still there.
It's a bridge too far there.
Yeah, I just wanted to put that in there. But anyway, you can find me on Twitter at LexiLion98, TikTok at LexiLion98, and Instagram at Acapella98. That's the only one that's different. I think that's it.
Before Travis gives his, I just need to say real quick, speaking of the creature content, Lexi, you've probably already seen this meme, but the scene from episode 5 where Reva was like, where were you when he was slaughtering all of us? And then like the next panel is Obi-Wan going, I was riding a giant fucking lizard. I thought of you every time.
I saw that.
Because like I know that like when I told you there's like the lizard's named Boga, you went, I love Boga, and I just every time just kept going back to you and Boga.
I love my Star Wars creatures, and if I could
Yes.
study them, as a degree, I would. But I cannot. So I almost forgot to add that. Anyway.
Content. You can find me maybe actually talking about Star Wars for once on Twitter at Travis Political, because I really like this show. Or in general, actually, because I don't use Twitter that often anymore.
Yeah, I was gonna say it was very specific. I'm not on anymore, but maybe Star Wars. And
Yeah, that's it. Oh, Connor.
You guys can
Michael
find
had it
me
easy.
on Twitter at DepaBanana. I talk Star Wars. I sometimes talk other stuff. Just glean my Twitter feed. That's all you need to do. I'll keep it PG.
Connor, yeah, I don't know why you keep being like, I'm horny on main. You just say, oh, hey, this character's pretty. Do you read half of the shit that the Adam Driver stands post?
No,
I
but
was
like I
looking
also
through
said,
Twitter and I saw
Do
someone
you
who
see
just
what I
zoomed in
post
on
about the
his dick
Ninth
print.
Sister?
fair, but I also did say that Moses Ingram and Mila Jovovich could absolutely destroy me, and I'd be fine with it. And I'll
So-
repeat that.
It's very PG already,
It's very
buddy.
mild.
Very mild.
Oh, Connor.
I see Adam Driver dick print on a regular basis against my will.
I didn't want to be associated with that sentence, but here I am associated with that sentence.
I didn't want to be seeing it either. But I was like, oh, this person posted cool stuff about Kylo Ren when the sequels are coming out. Ah, yes, he made the misfortunate decision to wear shorts. Fuck. Anyway.
You can also find me on For the Republic, a love letter to Star Wars animation, another Star Wars podcast I co-host. As you can tell, it's all about Star Wars animation. We're doing our Obi-Wan discussion. We just recorded. I literally pulled double duty. I recorded my Obi-Wan discussion with them like a few hours ago, and now I'm here. But we're going through the Clone Wars right now. We will finish it in probably like 2 years, maybe 3, because it's just taking forever. We're still on season 1. We're still on season 1.
You guys are doing it by arc, though, right?
Yeah,
No,
we're doing it by
okay,
arc.
That's easier.
Yeah, it's easier, but it's still gonna take forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where else? Oh, sweditor.ig.com. I write articles. I have some. I haven't published them yet. I also write stories. I have some. Haven't published them yet. Sensing a theme here? Because I am too. I work with a wonderful group of creatives over there for Star Wars editor fiction. We tell our own original stories while also keeping to the canon of Star Wars as best as we can. I have a few stories in development, one of which will probably come out in September, I want to say. It's about a Jedi, but not who you think. Well, sort of who you think, but not the main focus. That's all I'll say.
I was really going to try to do the joke where you flip the first letters. And then I realized it would still be Calcasting.
That's true.
Like, I was going to be like,
Doesn't really
like,
work when they're the same phonetically.
I know, like,
that.
for me to be like, oh, was it about Varth Dater? Like, no, I can't do that because it's still just Calcastus.
Yeah.
Name is Parker Peter. Wait.
It's literally not my name. Yeah. Jared,
Yes.
where can the lovely people find you and the Nerd Academy?
You guys can find me on Twitter and Instagram at DarkJedi2552, and you can find the Nerd Academy podcast on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and on our website, www.thenerdacademypodcast.com, where, if you're feeling generous, you can donate to our Patreon.
Give me $1.
Button got stuck. Speaking of our Patreon, thank you to our $10 alumnus, Nick Johnson. And to Paco, or as he's known currently on our Patreon, use code TNAP at checkout for $5 off on SaveInfoWars.com. That's $5 off on SaveInfoWars.com if you use code TNAP.
All right, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm gonna reinsert my earbud back into my ear now. Ouch.
I apologize. I didn't realize it'd be that loud on your end. Like I said up top, it's lovely. We all have like a shared clip now because Bombad Cast plays that all the time too now. Like I said, Versus series should be out as soon as we can. Spencer's been busy with school stuff. I was under the weather this week. So expect that soon. It's going to be Anakin Skywalker circa Revenge of the Sith versus Ahsoka Tano circa The Mandalorian. So stay tuned. Very excited for that matchup. We have like the next 3 months worth of matchups like decided. It's just a matter of like actually recording them. But this year is going to be a lot of Legends versus canon, and I'm very excited for all of that. We'll be doing Movie Club again here soon. A little hiatus from that because of everything that has been going on around these parts. But yeah, thank you everybody for watching or listening. Be sure to hit the student store link on the website so you can go to our TeePublic.
TeePublic.com.
Such a specific clip, and I love it. Go Wildberries. Speaking of the Schmodown, hopefully next week we'll be getting back in the saddle with number one contender as well. My work schedule has been an absolute pain in the ass, and I'm super behind on the Schmodown, but my schedule might be changing, and I might have Fridays off soon, which means I can actually watch the Schmodown again. So big fingers crossed on that one. Anyway, thank you all so very much for watching and listening. Be sure.
Okay, I'm 3 weeks behind too.
Oh, good. I'm like 4 weeks behind. I'm still not as bad as you, and it's okay. Thank you again to Michael for stopping by. Be sure to go subscribe to our remaining systems and watch that space very attentively. And we'll see you all the next time. We're honored that you have joined us, and may the force be with you always. God damn it, Michael.
Stop! Move away from the cookie jar.